What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is the ashsaiditshow. Over 1,900 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. All that is on account of you guys. So thank you so much for your love, your support. It makes a huge, huge difference. And because y'all love on me so much, I get to talk to phenomenal people like my guest today. She is a childhood domestic violence survivor, a single mother of 5, a Latina entrepreneur who inspires audiences worldwide to overcome obstacles and shatter limiting beliefs in their life and business, the wonderful Margarita Eberline. Hey, Margarita.
Hello, hello. Thank you for the intro.
Oh, no problem. You are so awesome. I mean, there's no way I could not introduce you with just some of the accolades, all right? That's not all of them, but just some of them there.
They're fun facts.
Fun facts. All right, so Margarita, I want to talk about your journey to entrepreneurship and what that looked like for you. So when you were a little girl, did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Absolutely not. I had no idea what it was, what the lifestyle was like, and it really wasn't anything that was on my mind. When I was a little girl, I actually wanted to be a lawyer. You know, in Halloween, you like dress up, you know, as your career and, you know, or things that you think are cool.
Yeah.
And I remember in kindergarten showing up with my hair all slicked back and a button-up shirt, and they're like, what are you supposed to be? And I was like, I'm a lawyer. That was what I wanted to be when I was little.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So like most people growing up in my neighborhood and, you know, Pacoima, California, very Hispanic, mostly Mexican immigrant communities. I mean, you could get away with just speaking Spanish all over town. It was that saturated. And we were taught that the best you can aim for is to go to school, get good grades, and then go get a job somewhere. And that was what I had in my mind. And for a while, I was on a corporate track, definitely not thinking about entrepreneurship at all, and had these wonderful opportunities with people like the founder of Latina Magazine, got to work on Spanglish with her, learned about data and creative, went to work at Nielsen, then later on Telemundo. And it was at my stop in Telemundo that I had an aha moment, not about entrepreneurship, but about me and what felt right and what felt wrong. And I had an aha moment because I was promoting TV advertising to business owners who I knew needed more to make it work. So this was maybe 15 years ago, or I don't know, 14 years ago, maybe even 13, but it was a while ago, over 10 years ago. And back then it was, you see the commercial on TV and then you go to the internet, this thing called the internet, right? It's not what it was now. No. And then you research the company and then, you know, if you can find their number on the internet, you call them. And because I would notice for the TV advertisers that I had on my account list, the ones that had social media, that had a digital presence, that had a nice website, seemed to get better results from their TV ads than the ones that didn't. And that was the aha moment. To make a long story short, I had a crisis of conscience where I was like, how can I sell this to these business owners knowing that they need more for it to work? This just doesn't feel right. Like, I don't want to be confined to just the TV piece. And so I decided to leave because I didn't feel right about being there. And then a handful of clients that I had, because I've always been a nerd and a reader and I want to understand how things work, they reached out to me and they said, hey, you know, now that you're not with the station anymore, would you be open to helping me with X, Y, and Z for my law firm marketing? Because every advice that you gave me in passing that I applied seemed to be good advice, and I think you know what you're doing, and that was the theme. And before you knew it, I had a small list of accounts, and even still, I didn't think of entrepreneurship. I registered an LLC because my thought was, okay, well, the job thing didn't work out. Maybe now I can be an independent contractor. See, so I still wasn't thinking entrepreneurship. Yeah. And it wasn't until the necessity of my clients drove me to do something bigger. And I ended up growing my little freelance gig into a whole full-service agency where we offered as many services as I could manage. And that was really where I started with entrepreneurship, where I took not my own ambition, but I took my desire to provide a better service to the clients I had in front of me and turned it into a business. And really from that agency is where I evolved to the business I have now, which is the CMO, because then I came across another need that I hadn't recognized, which is I didn't want to be confined even by the services that I could offer as an agency. And as a CMO, I get to do whatever marketing strategy is going to work for my client because I'm not confined to my own agency and what I've got to offer. I can just plug in, to freelancers and agencies all over because I engineered already an agency several times as a business owner of an agency, and I do it now for each law firm, really. I assemble them their own marketing teams and then give them the blueprint to manage. So I'm basically taking what I do as an agency owner and applying it to the individual businesses and making it theirs. So they're not relying on an external source for everything. And that's really how I ended up being an entrepreneur. And now I can't see my life without it because I have my kids and I have my work-life balance. It's just, I don't know how I could do this if I went and got like a normal job. But it's not all glorious. I mean, trust me, I do my fair share of all-nighters and whatever I need to do to get the results for my clients. So, it's not all like, work-life balance, I've got the perfect life, but it definitely gives me that flexibility that I need to at least try to have it all, right?
Yes, I know it. I mean, and that's what you just kind of foreshadowed a little bit I wanted to get into. You working at, as a CMO, how do you find that work-life balance? You've got 5 babies, well, not babies necessarily, but you got 5 kids and working a very, it can be taxing on you. How do you find balance?
Listen, I am the queen of managing my time. So that's how I've been an overachiever my entire life. And it's a skill set that now is just a way of life for me, whether I'm doing laundry and washing dishes or optimizing a website. I'm very strategic and very organized in how I use my energy. I pay attention, for example, is my creativity high or low? Well, then I'm not going to work on tasks that require high creativity if my creativity is low. Maybe I'll work on programming or looking at data right now, right? And so I use those little hacks to manage my time. But as far as the business, I'm very much about processes. I love processes, and this is something that I enjoyed when I had my agency and that I enjoy now is, are there steps that I can take or platforms that I can integrate into my process that will make this go faster and reduce the amount of errors? And this is where the Nielsen brain comes in handy because Nielsen was all about processes too. And it was always, if I can remove 5 steps and, 3 human touches, I can minimize the probability that there will be an error in this finished whatever, whether it's a video or a social media post. So I'm constantly looking at processes. And then I look at quality, not quantity. I'm a big believer, and I preach this to my clients, and I apply it myself. I'd rather you do less things, but do them well and fully optimize the effort than to stress out about being dominant in every single marketing tactic that comes through your brain, right? Because business owners love coming up with ideas. Heck, I love coming up with ideas. I'm sure you like coming up with ideas.
Yes.
And it's so dangerous. It is. It is so dangerous because we could spread ourselves thin. And I always ask myself, this may be a good idea, but is it the best idea for me at this moment in time? And again, this goes in personal and also in professional and in the way I structure businesses and in the way that I run marketing departments is I look at what's best given all the data that I have. And that's the other thing is I have processes that help me. So, I mean, I hate to admit this out loud, but Margarita Eberline, my workload is actually not that bad considering the amount of work that my team does, because I've structured my business in such a way where my team, they're like the nurses, right? They collect the labs, they do the x-rays, they do all the gathering. And me as the doctor, I've looked at so much data and I understand it, right? And I can find patterns and I can get answers to questions so easily that it's really not so bad.
Right.
Like my biggest, if you can call it a time suck, is making sure that my team is doing all the administrative, like time-consuming things that go into what we do, because it is important. Like gathering a year's worth of month-to-month data from Google My Business takes a lot of time, takes a lot of work, and you need to know what you're doing to know how to pull the data, make sure it's accurate. So I've got all those processes in place so that my team can do that heavy lifting. And my role then is to look at what the numbers are telling me and put it all together, is to look at the story, that my team came up with for the brand and say, ooh, here's what's missing. And that, because of the experience that I have, right?
Right.
It's like that anecdotal story, right? It's how long did it take Picasso to do his art? It's the entire lifetime. Like, to me, data analytics, that's my art. Like I can look at your data and tell you, the month that you started running OTT and digital ads with such and such station, your Google My Business phone calls shot up. Not because Google My Business got better, but because you pushed all this, this content to new audiences. And look, I can see it here because I can see that they went to your website too. Like the data's telling me that as well, right? Yeah. And it's nice to be able to explain all that.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the marketing app. What can you tell people about that?
Ask me your question one more time.
I was saying, what about the marketing app? What can you tell us about it?
Oh, so we have a marketing app that we developed because a lot of business owners were experimenting with their marketing, and we found ourselves answering similar questions over and over and over and over that helped business owners really understand, well, how does marketing even work, right? And so we developed a course called Think Like a Marketer, Grow Like a Boss. And we developed this online course, and then we developed another course on sales and intake, and then another course on video marketing. And then our client said, I love this material, but I find that I just need something more on the go because, I'm out and about. And we're like, duh, our avatar is busy. They're in court, they're in the car, they're in, whatever. And so we came up with the idea to put all of our materials in our app. And so when you become a Marketing Boss client, you have a client portal that is part of your service with us. And that client portal has cheat sheets, checklists, templates, and a bunch of resources that you and your marketing team and, your in-house folks or whatever can benefit from. And you as a business owner obviously can benefit from.
Right.
But then we went a step further. People that were not our clients were also needing things. And so we thought, what sort of things can we put in the app so that if you're not a Marketing Boss client and you don't have a fractional CMO explaining everything to you, you can still apply some of these things. Right. And so we came up with a growth hack series that's really simple. It's a video series that takes you through how to growth hack your business in 7 days. We have a playbook for law firms that really breaks down all of the steps to build a marketing machine in their law firm. And more resources like that are coming all the time, again, from interactions that we have with people, because at Marketing Boss, our bread and butter is our CMO service. Right. And the app really comes from a desire to help business owners, right? Yeah. Because maybe not everybody is ready to hire a CMO, but I wanted to create a way for even people that were at a place in their business, maybe startups, right? You're at a place in your business where you're not ready for a CMO. You don't even have that much data to analyze, but you still deserve to know how to put together a marketing plan and how to have a conversation with a website vendor to make sure that you're actually getting a website that's going to drive traffic to that site, not that looks pretty and that has the things that you asked for, right? So those are the things that you can find on our app, and they're super cost effective. I want to say the most expensive thing on there is like $60 or something because it has all the courses. And that's the most expensive thing on there.
Yeah, that's definitely cost effective, especially now we're in a post-COVID economy, which none of us really know what that means, but it certainly means that, you know, we're definitely watching those dollars and watching how we invest in our businesses. So that's super helpful. Now, last but certainly not least, what advice would you offer to the next generation of entrepreneurs?
Ooh, it's not even marketing advice. Mm-hmm. The best marketing advice that I offer my clients and anybody that I talk to is going into business requires, if you're really going to do this, like, and do this big, right? If you have big dreams, it really does require a lot of risk taking and getting out of your comfort zone. And you got to think about it like this. How many times do you spend $5 on a latte because you just need the caffeine in the moment and you're out and about? Or you spend, I don't know, $100,000 on an undergrad education because, you know, you want to go to college, right?
Right.
Don't then turn around and freak out and say, because this is what blows my mind, and say, oh, $5 a month for an app that's going to help me automatically bill my customers. Oh, that's too much money. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Being mentally prepared to go big and to invest in your business.
Yeah.
I like to think of the metaphor of the racehorse, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if your business is your racehorse, because it is, your business is a horse and it's on a race because we all have competition.
Yeah.
We all have other people that are in our space that are going to get to that client first. And if you want to be first, are you really going to starve your racehorse? Mm-hmm. No. You're going to give your racehorse the best carrots, the best apples, the best sugar cubes, make sure it's hydrated, get it the best trainer. Like, be that, have the mindset, be that way with your business. Like, I would much rather shop at Target and give up that Prada bag and buy a platform for $1,000 that's going to generate me $50,000 worth of recurring revenue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. Yeah. You know, like, people freak out, especially when I speak to startups, you know, and I'm like, well, you got to at least get a CRM. They're like, how much is that? Oh, $150,000. Oh, I don't know. That's too much money. And I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
Like, the thing's going to charge people's cards for you. Keep track of who paid, who didn't. Like, you know, you don't want that for $150. It's like, for me, I'd be like, I give you $300. Like,
exactly. Exactly. If you're gonna, you know, get that added result that I need for my business, I'm gonna put it out there.
Yeah, and if you think about it this way, just to create a sense of urgency here, the mindset is just not about having the mindset to spend money on your own business, but think about the energy that you're putting out. Mm-hmm. If you are afraid to spend $5 or $1,000 or whatever your business needs. Professional insurance. Oh, I don't need that. Yeah, you do, right? Mm-hmm. If you have that attitude, what's your energy like when you're the one asking the customer to buy from you?
Yeah.
Like, that duality just doesn't coexist very well. Mm-mm. And a lot of times when I come across businesses that are struggling, right, is they are struggling not because their marketing, their marketing maybe can use some improvement. You know, it's not because their product's not good. Every product can use some improvement. Service can use some improvement. Most of the time, it's because the mindset, the leadership, the culture in the business is coming from a lack mentality and is coming from a place of just not 100% committed. Yeah. You even see it reflected in employees. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll come across business owners and they're like, oh, I just can't get people to do the work. But then you spend a little bit of time there and you're like, wait, but you're not showing up on time to work. But you're calling out sick because you were out drinking and everybody knew, you know, what's going on. You got to have that mindset of this business is my racehorse. Yeah. And I'm going to give my racehorse the time, the attention, the money, so that it wins this race, because I'm in it to win it. Yeah. And make it, and it can be exciting. It doesn't have to be scary, you know? I mean, I've been there. We've all been there. Absolutely. It can be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be the leader, you know, and you have to set the example. And if you have a business where you're, like you said, you're calling in or you're hung over the next day, what kind of example are you setting to your employees? Not a very good one. Mm-hmm. Not very good at all.
Exactly.
So, But Margarita, thank you so much for coming through today. We certainly appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. This has been great. I have so much to say, so thank you so much for letting me share.
You. And let everyone know how they can get in contact with you if they need to get the app, if they want to, talk about the different services and courses that you guys offer. Where do they need to go?
So I'm all over social media. People think all I do is make social media content. It's not true. This is fun for me. So Margarita Eberline is my handle. It's my personal handle. And then we've also got accounts for Marketing Boss. So if you want strictly business content, that's marketing-boss.com is the website. And then our social media handles are similar. It's Marketing Boss CMO on most of the social media platforms. And you'll find our app. It's all over our website. It's on the homepage of our website. You can also go to the App Store and just do a search for Marketing Boss. And like I said, there's a bunch of stuff that's free. The app itself is free to download, and it's got a bunch of free resources. And then if you wanted to invest a little bit in the video marketing or even sales course that we have in the app, it's all there. And yeah, we're constantly rolling out some new things.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Much more success to you and the whole team. I know there's going to be new announcements coming and new things happening with you guys. I'd love to have you back. I'd love for you to be back on the show to announce it.
That would be amazing. We would love to be back. Yeah, we're working on some publications, so once we have those dates, we'll definitely circle back and start to promote those.
Absolutely. And I thank you to each and every one of you guys for downloading the show, for sharing, caring. It makes a huge difference. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face. You tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.